It's the largest evacuation the state has ever seen.
Firefighter overwhelmed, the sky just getting darker and darker.
The whole region smothered in smoke and outbreaks that were leapfrogging faster than fire crews could contain them.
The state of emergency has been declared as conditions prepare to take a turn for the worst.
Last summer, Australia encountered its worst ever bushfire season in living memory. 17 million hectares of land was burnt, over 3,000 homes destroyed, and tragically, 33 people lost their lives. For some, this came in the midst of Australia's worst drought. Dave Tucker is an Rfs Captain in the Northern Rivers who coordinated and battled the fire front for months, risking his life to save his community and its people. This is a gorgeous little town, isn't it? My first trip to Benalbo and I am super impressed. What a great little taste of Australian country living this is.
Well, it is, and not only that, it's the only town in Australia that starts and ends with BO, so I'm not sure what to make of that.
So joining the RFS, was that just a community service for you, or is it a long-time dream to be a firey? What was the plan?
It's basically a community service. I'd hoped that someone would help me if my house is on fire, so therefore I owe it to other people to, you know, I've got to be willing to do it.
Look at that view. Dave, the trouble for you started about a year ago, didn't it? It was early September when the fires first came your way.
That's right, September. They sort of kicked off at Wongully to the west near Drake. The huge fires south of Casino, and so by then it was well and truly underway.
I am not alone.
Before the fires and the downpour of rain that would finally fall, further south down the Clarence River at Baryugal, Dave had been fighting his own personal battle with the unrelenting and crippling dry, his property enduring over 3 years of drought.
These days turn back nothing like I had planned.
So this is Shipili.
Shipiri, weird. So this is our pecan trees, and I planted them, about 100 of them, about 35 years ago. They're bare now, but we would lop the branches off and getting cattle through the drought. We're actually feeding them pecan leaves. So,
And how was it for you during that drought period with your cattle?
it was absolutely shocking, and it makes you start to question yourself, because you think normally in a drought, you see it coming, sell cattle. But you can get to the point where you've left it too late for all sorts of reasons, and the cattle are worth nothing. We were snookered. So that's very hard to take.
A year on, it must be a very different look for you today than it was back then.
It is, yes. Back then there was a lot more smoke, a lot of smoke up the top of the trees there.
Do you smell it? Do you hear it? Do you feel it? What comes first? If it's racing this way?
There's an unmistakable thing of something coming over that hill, and you will see very black smoke, and you'll hear that roar, and you don't want to be there. So you decamp very quickly, because if it's making that much noise, nothing that you have is going to stop it.
Dave's juggle between his 2 jobs as RFS captain and a farmer are also shared with his wife Sharon, whose role as the brigade secretary was crucial in protecting and informing their community. For months while working tirelessly on the fire front, they were carrying the stress of knowing their livelihood and animals at Chipili were under constant threat from both starvation and flames.
It was very stressful. You were tired and depressed, trying to chase feed and the cost of feed and seeing the poor skinny cattle. And I know that I wanted to talk about the bigger picture and what's going to happen in the long term, and Dave kept having to bring me back to, we're just got to get through today, because it was hard to see your way out of it.
Come on, Brigade.
We know you're very proud people, and Dave was saying it took you to reach out to Rural Aid to actually admit that it's time and we need some help and we don't want to lose this place.
Yeah, it was a big move to us for help because, as people say, there's always someone worse off, but at that point we were worse off. And someone's actually going to give us something. It's unbelievable. It's like, wow.
It's a bit of validation, really, for Rural Aid to say, yeah, okay, you know, you've got a good case. That's a validation.
And that's what we're here to do, obviously tell the community that we still need them and we still need their donations, and they're going to very worthy people like the Tuckers who are forever giving back and who are the backbone of this country. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Shelley.
And thanks for reaching out, because there's always help.